Welcome. I'm Marianne Saylor, Director of the Bureau of Workers' Compensation. Today's training will orient you to the new look and feel of the WCAIS screens, which have undergone digital transformation. In 2020, the Bureau began the WCAIS Digital Transformation Project to update the technology platform of WCAIS and improve the user experience. That project is now continuing with more screens being transformed to the new platform. We are confident that you will find it easier and quicker to navigate the transformed screens. The digital transformation project will eventually encompass all of WCAIS. We hope your experience with these screens will leave you excited for the rest of the transformation. Thank you, and I will now turn things over to the WCAIS training team.
First, I will provide an overview of digital transformation. We will then do a deep dive on a few of the impacted screens and have a few demonstrations to showcase the new user experience. To conclude, we will review important reminders and next steps. Up first is the digital transformation overview. When the digitally transformed screens go live, only certain screens will have a different look and feel. The rest of the screens in WCAIS will remain unchanged. The impacted sections include the WCAIS homepage, WCAIS dashboard, and adjudication-related screens, and more. The steps used to complete your WCAIS activities will not be changed. However, the screen design is now updated. Links on the dashboard, which lead to screens which have already been digitally transformed, will now display the new design for those screens. However, not all screens have been digitally transformed, so you will still navigate to some screens with the current view. For example, the dispute summary will be digitally transformed, so if you navigate to a dispute using the My Dispute section on the WCAIS dashboard, you will see the new design. However, Appeal, WCAB Petition, and UAGF screens have not been digitally transformed. Therefore, if you press the links on the My Appeals grid, for instance, you will see those screens with the current design. There are new screen functions, buttons, and icons that will be universal across all digitally transformed screens. We will show these during our deep dive later in this session. At the top of each screen, you will see a green button that will allow you to expand or collapse the WCAIS menu. Additionally, the Enhanced Search section will continue to be available. Currently, a green Go button would be pressed to use Enhanced Search, and now you will enter information and then press the magnifying glass icon. Furthermore, you will have a drop-down menu to log out and a question icon to access the Customer Service Center. Buttons are now colored to indicate the type of response you can expect when it is pressed. They are also located strategically to make tasks more intuitive to complete. A blue arrow button will now display in the bottom right when you scroll to the bottom of a screen. Pressing this button will automatically scroll you to the top of the screen. Certain processes will display a progress bar, which will show which sections have been completed, which section you are currently on, or which sections are not yet started. The use of icons will increase to allow users to quickly view a screen and select the correct action. Using the dispute summary, let's take a look at some of the functions which will be available on all digitally transformed screens. Notice that some overall layout changes have been made. The WCAIS menu is now located on the left-hand side, so it can be accessed at any time while scrolling through a screen. If you wish to collapse the menu, the green button with 3 lines in the upper left will allow you to collapse the menu so only the icons are visible. Moving across the top of the screen, the WCAIS logo can now be pressed to navigate back to the WCAIS dashboard. And the arrow next to the user's name can be selected to log out of WCAIS. Additionally, the Customer Service Center can be accessed by pressing the question mark icon in the upper right. WCAIS will now have a flexible design which will adjust based on your zoom level and screen size. On the next slide, we'll provide instructions for how to zoom in and out, but first we'll discuss some of the reasons that it may be beneficial to zoom in and out. The top screenshot shows the My Appeal section with a higher zoom level. Some of the benefits that we can see is that the text is larger and also the menu is larger. So if you are having difficulty reading the screen or pressing buttons or menu items, consider zooming in. The lower screenshot shows the same area on the dashboard but with a lower zoom level. The benefit to zooming out is that you are now able to see all the columns in this grid without needing to scroll to the right. Now let's take a look at how you can zoom in or out on a screen. There are various ways to zoom in or out, but a few options include pressing the Control key and then the plus or minus key on a PC. Similarly, on an Apple keyboard, you may press the Command key and the plus or minus key. A different option is to press the Control key on your keyboard and scroll up or down using the scroll wheel on your mouse. Another option to adjust the zoom is to access the browser settings. Press the three dots in the upper right corner of the browser to display the settings menu. Then use the Zoom menu item. As an additional reminder, Internet Explorer is no longer supported by Microsoft, so using a different internet browser will allow for optimal performance of the WCAIS application, particularly the new digitally transformed screens. When accessing WCAIS, please either use Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge, or Mozilla Firefox. At this time, we'll go through some of the digitally transformed screens. As mentioned, the WCAIS homepage is being digitally transformed. As you will see with all digitally transformed screens, the same links and actions which are currently available on the homepage will continue to be available. Let's zoom in on some sections of the homepage. The area where you will log in will have a slightly different look, but just as you do right now, you will log in using the text field within the Keystone graphic on the right. Your Keystone ID and password will be the same. Additional information about each program area will continue to display at the bottom. You can access this either by pressing the links which are underlined in blue or by pressing the navigation icons next to each link. Next, we'll review the improvements to the WCAIS dashboard. We'll take a look at the dashboard over the next few slides to cover different sections. The first thing you will notice about the dashboard is that the content now covers the entire width of the screen. Currently, there is a menu on the right-hand side which causes the content to only span part of the screen. Two items that have moved, which you should be aware of, include the Personalize the Dashboard section and Quick Links. Your current personalization will be present when the dashboard is updated. However, if you wish to add additional sections to your dashboard, select that item from the Personalize Your Dashboard drop-down menu and press the Add Item button. To access the Quick Links, you will now scroll to underneath the Alert section of the dashboard. As a reminder, certain links will not lead to digitally transformed screens because the screens they link to are not yet digitally transformed. For example, the WCAB Dashboard link within Quick Links will continue to navigate to the WCAD Dashboard with its current design. Next, let's take a look at the Alerts section. To view alerts which are currently closed, you will press the plus icon, and to collapse them, press the minus icon. The Correspondences section will now automatically load when you access the dashboard. Right now, the Show Recent Correspondence button had to be pressed for the correspondences to load. That button will no longer display as the correspondences will show automatically. That being said, it may take a few moments for each section to load. It's not necessary to wait for every section to load before using the dashboard. You can simply scroll down to the section that you wish to access. There will be new icons on the dashboard, and you can hover your cursor over them if you're unsure of their function. The two arrows making a circle can be used to refresh a specific section. The X icon can be used to remove a specific section from your dashboard if you wish to personalize your dashboard to no longer display that section. You can always add it back using the Personalize Your Dashboard drop-down menu at the top of the screen. Now let's talk about the new graphics, which I'm sure have caught your eye. These graphics can be used to visualize how many of your claims, or whichever matter you are looking at, are in each status. The graphics are interactive, so by hovering your mouse over a specific color, a pop-up will display with the status name and how many of your claims have that status. Another very helpful and functional feature of these graphics is for their ability to filter the grid on the right. If you press, for instance, the No Froy part of the graphic, then the grid will only show claims which are in No Froy status. Now, if you wish to filter in additional statuses, you can press the statuses that display beneath the graphic, and those which you press will be included in the grid. You can tell which statuses are presently filtered into the grid by seeing which statuses are crossed out and which ones can be read. As you can tell, the graphics aren't just helpful visually, but they are also very functional and intuitive. Now, we'll take a few minutes to provide a demonstration of the new dashboard functionality. First, we'll show some high-level screen functions that you'll see on any screen that has been digitally transformed within WCAIS. To begin, along the left-hand side is where you're now going to find the digitally transformed menu. If you need to collapse this, you can do so by pressing this green button in order to toggle that closed. If you need to see it again, just press it one more time and it'll toggle back open for you. But just so you can see, I'll toggle it closed, and you will still be able to navigate through the menu using the closed menu. You can just hover over each icon, and in order to see what that icon means, by just hovering your cursor, a small pop-up will display, and then also all the sub-menu items are going to display for you. If you need to navigate back to the dashboard from any digitally transformed screen, you can do so by pressing either the Home icon or the WCAIS logo that displays along the top. You will continue to have the option to log out by pressing this down arrow, and then a logout menu is going to display. And then also, should you need the Customer Service Center, this question mark icon will now allow you to navigate there. A few additional navigation items to take a look at. If we scroll down here, you can see that the menu will follow you down the screen, so you're still going to be able to access the WCAIS menu no matter where you scroll to on a screen. And also, the enhanced search feature displays in the top right corner no matter where we scroll on the screen. Now, should you desire to scroll back to the top of the screen, you can do so very quickly by pressing this blue up arrow in the bottom right corner. Pressing that one time will scroll you all the way to the top of the screen. Now, let's take a look at a couple of the features of the dashboard. If you have already personalized your dashboard, those personalizations will continue to be there when you navigate back to WCAIS, even though the dashboard has been digitally transformed. However, should you decide that you wish to add additional items to your dashboard, you can do so using this Personalize Your Dashboard option. You'll just press the drop-down menu, select the section that you would like to add to your dashboard, and then press Add Item. Your alerts will continue to display at the top of the screen. And if you need to see an alert, you can press the plus icon that displays next to the program area or general in order to open and close that alert. Quick Links currently displays along the right-hand side of the screen. Now in the digitally transformed view, it's going to display horizontally across the screen right underneath the alerts. You'll continue to have the exact same Quick Links items that you currently do. Those haven't changed. And it will continue to display the red new indicator if there is a new item within a specific section. Currently, whenever you want to view your correspondences, there is a button that you need to press in order to make that load. Something new as a part of digital transformation is that those correspondences are automatically going to load for you. Now, you may notice that it will take a little bit of time for those to load. If you aren't going to look at your correspondences at this time, you can just scroll past it and navigate down to the farther part of the screen that you are looking to go past. You don't have to wait for that specific section to load in order to pass it. Now we're going to take some time to look at the My Claims section. However, we have mentioned that if you wish to zoom in and out on a screen, that can help you in a couple of different ways. So one way is you may choose to zoom in on a screen if you are having trouble viewing the text or pressing certain buttons because they seem too small. You can zoom in and out in order to make that fit better for you. In this case, I want to be able to see all of the columns along the right-hand side here. So to do so, I'm going to press Control and the minus key so that I can view all of my columns. Now, on the left-hand side here, you can see that there is a new graphic that displays. As we hover over each section, a pop-up displays showing the name of the status and the number of claims that you have in that status. So it's helpful to be able to view the claims that you have at a high level, but also this is a very functional item because not only can you view it, you can also click on these. And so, for instance, if I press Comp Denied, then this grid on the right is filtered to only display status, the claims that are in a status of Comp Denied. So as we see, only Comp Denied is displaying. And we also see underneath the graphic that there is a key here indicating the colors that each status is indicated by. And Comp Denied is showing, so we can see that, but all of the other ones have been crossed out to indicate that those are not displaying within our claims grid. If there are multiple status types that you want to be able to filter in, you can just press, I'm going to press Med Only to add that back in, and now we have both our Med Only and Comp Denied claims displaying within our grid. Now, if you want to go back to the original way that it was displaying, you can do so by pressing this Refresh My Claims icon that displays right above our My Claims section. So I'll press that now, and we see that that has filtered back to display what we originally had. Also, just another reminder, if you do wish to personalize your dashboard, we showed you how to add things. But if, for instance, you don't want to have to see your claims every single time that you log in, there is an X icon that displays above My Claims, and you can press that in order to remove that section from your dashboard. If you accidentally press that, again, just go to the top of your screen and then select from the Personalize My Dashboard. Now we're going to go back into our presentation and take a look at a few more slides. Next, the WCOA Dashboard. This screen will continue to be accessed through the Quick Links menu. The exact same content will continue to display on this screen, just with an updated look and feel. For reference, if you wish to sort a specific grid by a certain column, you can do so by pressing the arrow in the column header. Those will start out as a double-sided arrow. Once the column is selected, the arrow will point in one direction, indicated whether it is sorted in ascending or descending order. There are a few functions that we would like to point out that will make navigating in WCAIS easier. Note that the menu has been collapsed on the left-hand side in this screenshot. It can still be navigated even when closed. If you hover over an icon, the description of that menu item will display, and you can click through to the necessary drop-down selections. Additionally, if you are scrolled down on any digitally transformed screen, you will continue to have access to the Enhanced Search feature in the upper right corner. Currently, you would need to scroll back to the top to use this feature. Should you need to scroll back to the top of any digitally transformed screen, there will now be a blue up arrow that displays in the bottom right corner that will automatically scroll all the way to the top of the screen. The process to file a petition has also been digitally transformed. Let's take a look at this process. You will begin by navigating to the WCAIS menu, to WCOA, Petitions, and then File a Petition. First, you will select a claim for which you are submitting a petition. Searching for this claim can be simple as entering the claimant's social security number into the search field and then pressing the Associate button for the claim which is found. You will need to select a petition type from the drop-down menu and then press the Continue button to enter the petition details. Next, you will enter the petition information as you currently do. And here are a few tips on this section. First, for the date entry, you can either type the date directly into the field or press the calendar icon. A green circle will display on the pop-up to indicate the current date. Once you press a date, that date will then display in blue. Another tip, when you are selecting reasons, if you need to select multiple reasons, holding the Control key while selecting each item will allow you to select multiple reasons at the same time. Then, you can press the single arrow facing right, and the item selected will move to the Selected Reasons list. If you need to move all items in the list, for instance, if you want to start over and remove all items from the Selected Reasons list, press the double arrow. This will move all items from one list to the other. Next, there will be a progress bar that displays at the top of this process to indicate the status of each step. The green check mark indicates that the section is complete. A blue circle indicates that it is the section you are currently working on, and the gray circle means that the section has not yet been completed. As mentioned in the overview, WCAIS will use specific colors of buttons to indicate different screen functions in WCAIS. Blue buttons are used to complete a step in the middle of a process, such as, in this case, saving a draft. These buttons will often navigate to a different screen to collect information or display a pop-up window before returning to the initial screen. Gray buttons often will be actions like back, cancel, or clear. These will often remove information that was entered if accidentally pressed, so these have been strategically located on the left of most screens to avoid unintentionally pressing them. Finally, green buttons are the main action on this screen, such as save and continue or submit. To complete the filing of a petition, the manner of service must be selected for each party. Once submitted, a confirmation screen will display. If desired, press the Print button to print the screen for your records. The next screen we'll look at is the Search Dispute screen. Please note, if you are a URO user or administrator, a claimant, or a healthcare professional or provider, you will not have access to this screen. The Search Dispute screen will now only display one type of search criteria at a time. You can select the type of search from the drop-down menu at the top, and then the corresponding search criteria will display. Once the correct dispute is found, press the dispute number link to navigate to the dispute summary. On the dispute summary, you can see what the matter information looks like when it is expanded. If you wish to collapse this section so it takes up less space, the up arrow can be selected beneath it. To view more information about the claim, the plus icon in the upper right corner of the screen can be pressed so that an extra set of details will display beneath the current details displayed. Also, an eye icon will display next to a number of fields and headers. These can be pressed to display a small pop-up, which provides additional information about that section. Pressing it a second time will collapse the pop-up. Please note, if you access the dispute summary from a non-digitally transformed screen, for instance from an appeal or a WCAB petition summary, the dispute summary may display with the current design. This is to be expected until all screens are digitally transformed. Also, again, this screen is not available for URO users and administrators. On this slide, you can see what the matter information section looks like when collapsed. You will still be able to see the claim and dispute number, but that section will take up much less space. Should you need that information again, you can simply press the Matter Information button to expand it. The same tabs which currently display down the left-hand side of the screen will now display horizontally across the top of the screen. Now, we will cover some important reminders and next steps. As a reminder, these screens will be digitally transformed in February 2023. The PowerPoint presentation we reviewed during this session was distributed via email. And in addition, a user experience guide was distributed to provide a quick reference for WCAIS users to better understand the new look and feel of the digitally transformed screens. Please review both the presentation and the user experience guide when your schedule permits. If you have any questions regarding WCAIS digital transformation or the new screens, please contact the BWC Helpline.